What's up, peeps? Thank you so much for coming back and joining us for a very special edition of the AEW Insider. As always, I'm your host, Lee Benz, and this is the final part of my top 10 fucked up families in horror films. Let's get back to the countdown. Number 5 is The Armitages. They are in the movie Get Out. In the family, there is Rose, Missy, Dean, and Jeremy. Now, the reason I made us an honorable mention and didn't put them on the list is because I also had Get Out on the list. It's by the same director. I just didn't want to overload the list with them in the top 10, blah, blah, blah. But this movie is very, very fucked up. Even though the other ones are doppelgangers and are straight killers, I think this family is far more fucked up and far more sinister. What it is about is that a young African-American man visited his white girlfriend's parents for the weekend, where his simmering uneasiness about their reception of him eventually reaches a boiling point. Telling you, this movie's set interracial dating back a decade, which I'm only joking about, but definitely brothers that think twice about fucking with white chicks sometimes, blah, blah, blah. The movie's fucked up. This guy goes with his girlfriend home for a weekend, you know what I mean? They're dating in college or some shit. Right off the bat, they get pulled over by the cops. The cops racist as fuck. When they get to the house, the family's real creepy. And any black people who are there are pretty much servants, besides one of him, but he's like an Uncle Tom white guy. So it's real fucked up. Come to find out this family actually can do an experiment. Say they're friends with these white people and the white people want to pay them. They actually bid on them like in Hostel for new bodies that they want. Say there's a guy who's a photographer like there is in the movie and his eyes don't work anymore. This black kid is a great photographer, so he would love to have his body, his eyes. So the father of this family is a doctor, and they can actually switch you into somebody else's body. So they can actually take that guy who was a great photographer and put him in this black man's body, and they could put the black man in the photographer's body, but with hypnosis, like lock his mind so he can't tell anybody and can't control it until he fucking dies because he's in an old used body, which is crazy. Everybody is in on in this family. The mother can hypnotize you, that's how they get you. The father's the fucking doctor. The brother's fucking crazy. Grandparents make an appearance. Yo, Get Out is absolutely insane, and one of the most fucked up families I've seen in years. That's why it's number 5 on our list. And a fun fact about this movie is the main star, Daniel Kaluuya, he was given the lead role on the spot after nailing his audition. Writer, co-producer, and director Jordan Peele said Kaluuya did about 5 takes of a key scene in which his character needs to cry. On each one, it was so perfect that a single tear came down at the exact same time for each take. And also, Chance the Rapper was so impressed by this film that he bought all of the movie tickets from a certain Chicago theater just so people could go see the film for free. And one of his tweets talking about the film, he says, just pull up with an ID and enjoy the movie. Now that's fucking awesome. Number 4 on this list, and I think it definitely could have been higher, to be honest, but it is the Davidson family. And they're in a 2011 movie, You're Next. Now, yo, this movie looked pretty good for the coming attractions, but I don't think anybody had any idea how good it was and how fucked up it was until they seen the movie. What it's about is that when the Davidson family comes under attack during their wedding anniversary getaway, the gang of mysterious killers soon learns that one of the victims harbors a secret talent for fighting back. Now, if you listen and paid attention, I said the name of the fucked up family is the Davidsons, but when I told you about the movie, I said they're the ones who come under attack, which is true, because come to find out, is like the younger kids want the older money off their parents. Their parents are really loaded, and they know they're pretty much fuck-ups and their parents aren't going to give it to them. So they get everybody over the family in the house. Most of the family's in on it, some of it isn't, and they decide to fucking kill everybody so they can get the parents' inheritance and all that, and it is absolutely insane. A fun fact about the movie You're Next is that the masks in the film were inspired by the video game Hotline Miami. Now, I played Hotline Miami. It's a cool over-the-top shooter like Grand Theft Auto used to be back in the day, and they do wear these crazy masks with these animals on it and shit. So that's where they got the mask from the film from. And also, the tiger mask killer in the movie is actually the guy who wrote the movie. He's the screenwriter. All right, and number 3 on our list is the Smith family from 1980's Motel Hell. What it's about is Vincent Smith and his sister Ida run a rural hotel, but they earn most of their cash operating a food stand that specializes in world famous sausages. After years of success, however, the duo's upstanding brother, who is a sheriff, Sheriff Bruce, eventually discovers the grotesque details of his siblings' booming business. Vincent and Ida are actually pumping up their hotel patrons, killing them and dismembering them and grinding them into frankfurters. So yo, this movie's a cult fucking classic. It's still good to this day. It's got a great chainsaw fight scene when a guy's wearing an actual fucking pig's head and shit. It's fucking nuts. You have to see Hope Motel Hell. And some fun facts of this movie is that the movie's original screenplay was originally a darker, more disturbing piece that even included bestiality, a lot more violence, and it was not a black comedy. And also, famous director of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tobe Hooper, was originally going to direct this movie for Universal Studios, but when the studios balked at the bizarre project, Hooper departed. Talking about Tobe Hooper, number two, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, 1986, The Sawyer Family, which does consist of Leatherface, Chop Top, Grandpa, Tex, Tink, and more. What it's about is that a radio host is victimized by the cannibal family. They're using locals to make and distribute their award-winning chili, as a former Texas Marshal does hunt them. So this movie's absolutely insane. When I was a kid, I used to watch it, even though I knew what I was watching and was going on. Like, this is one that actually stays with you. This movie is so over the top and fucked up, it's not funny. This family is also crazy in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I just picked which one movie I think they shine in the most. 2 is definitely the most over the top, fucking pretty much grotesque, what have you. But part 3, Leatherface, is great. And then after that, they do Next Generation and all this other bullshit. They're not so great. But definitely check out the Sawyer Family and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the 70s and 86 version. A fun fact about this is that the corpse that Chop Top and Leatherface carry around with them in the movie is the actual hitchhiker from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So chew on that, peeps. All right, the honorable mention for this is 1960 Alfred Hitchcock directed Psycho. The family is Norma and Norman Bates. The only reason why I put this in the honorable mentions, not on the list, is because the movies do them justice about how fucked up they are, but it's really the TV show, Bates Motel, that digs into the fucking history of this family and actually shows you how fucked up the Bates were. What Psycho is about is that a Phoenix secretary embezzles $40,000. Back in the 60s, that was like fucking 500 grand. She embezzled it from her employer's client and she goes on a run. She checks into a remote motel run by a young man and who's under the domination of his mother. So if you've seen Psycho, you know, man, and if you've seen the TV show, like I said, let you know the deal. But this guy's mother was so overbearing and so fucked up, like he lets her run his life. She sits in a fucking hotel in the window, she watches him, she demands shit from him, what have you, and even though he's a grown man, he's her little bitch. But come to find out, like in the final scene of the movie, his mother actually has been dead for years. And if you watch the show, I believe he's the one who actually killed her. But she fucking fucked with his head so much, he still hears her talking, and she is the one who tells him to kill, what have you. So Psycho is a fucking classic masterpiece. One of the most fucked up family. I even believe they did have sex a couple times, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, the only reason why this movie didn't make the actual list is because the TV show, not the movie, really dug into the history. All right, peeps, and number one, my number one fucked up family in horror films is the Firefly clan, of course. These guys might only came, I can't say a couple years because it's been fucking years now. But I mean, compared to some of the older ones from the 80s and all that, these guys are newer. But there is nobody more vicious, more fucked up, and just crazy than the Firefly clan. Some of the members are Baby, Tiny, Otis, Captain Spaulding, Dr. Satan, and way more. What it's about is that two young couple, and the House of a Thousand Corpses is the one I picked. Even though The Devil's Rejects and shit like that shows them, and Three from Hell it shows it a lot more, I feel House of a Thousand Corpses was actually in their house and you got to see their fucked up family. You know what I mean? But what it's about is that two young couples traveling across the backwoods of Texas, searching for urban legends of murder, end up as prisoners of a bizarre and sadistic backwater family of serial killers. So that's what this is, man. They go to this little side road stop or whatever. It's a gas station. They sell, I forget what food it is. It's crazy food, but they also have a museum of like deaths and horror. So that's what these people are looking for. But come to find out, they just came into the House of a Thousand Corpses. These guys are just like the fucking, Texas Chainsaw Massacre family, the Sawyers, but they're fucking worse. So these motherfuckers are fighting for their lives after that, and it's insane. And you definitely have to check out the sequels, The Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell, because the Fireflies are nobody to fuck with. A fun fact about this movie is, during A House of a Thousand Corpses, there is more than one instance when you see a poster of two missing young boys. Those young boys in the pictures were actually the director, Rob Zombie, and his brother, who's the lead singer of Power Man 5000, as children. So Rob Zombie got a picture of himself and his brother when they were kids and put it up as a missing poster fucking all around. So that's really, really cool. All right, peeps. I hope I didn't drag on too long or bore you guys, what have you. Like I said, I love doing these videos. I do this in my spare time. Actually got a wrestling video to get to, but I will have more coming up. Like I said, I'm going to have the top Christmas movies. I'm going to have the top horror Christmas movies. And whenever I get time in between, I'm definitely going to do a cool countdown video for horror movies like this because I love it. And I know you guys like it, and I love you guys. Definitely please show us some love. Our podcast is on all major podcasting sites. Anchor, Apple, Google, Spotify, what have you. Plus, we're on Facebook and YouTube. On any of them, we're the AEW Insider. On Twitter, we are the AEW Insider 1 as number 1. Well, I hope you enjoyed my top 10 fucked up families in horror movie list. There definitely will be different parts of this list because there's way too many fucked up families in film to pass up. All right, peeps, so I want to thank you so much for joining us for this special edition of the AEW Insider. Ciao, peeps.